Hallo liebe Hörer, willkommen zu einer neuen Podcast-Folge von den Caramels. Heute sprechen wir über Intro- und Outro-Pannen, Toilettenhumor, auf jeden Fall viel Gekischen, wer sind wir, wo sind wir und was zum Teufel tun wir überhaupt, Partys und Shopping, akademischen Aktivisten, interdisziplinäre Wissenschaften und Michael Jackson Thrillers, dönerfreier November oder mehr Döner in Deutschland. Und zu guter Letzt danken wir, wer Band bei uns die Luft raus ist. Also, los geht's!
If someone's listening,
I would stop.
they would wonder, what am I here?
Yeah, most likely.
So who are we?
The caramels, man. Nice setup
We're the Caramels.
We are the Caramels,
with the caramels.
and we
I'm
don't know
Brian.
why we're called the Caramels.
Stop interrupting me. I'm Brian.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do a normal introduction round, because...
Yo, what up? What up? I'm Brian. Yeah, there it is.
Where are you from, Brian?
Don't worry about it. Who the hell are you?
Okay.
I'm Rafid Hawk.
Yes.
Hi, Rafid.
I'm from
I didn't get
I'm
that
from
kind
Asia.
of reception. Asia.
Asia.
To most of the world, you are from Asia.
yes, I do look like I'm from Asia.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Or
I can confirm that.
you could be from
Who are
there.
you to confirm?
I
No, who are you? I mean,
I'm so confused.
what's your name?
So, I'm Bibi.
Bingo.
And,
You're Bibi.
yeah,
Bibi from where?
I'm from around here.
From around here.
From around
That's
here.
good. We're all
Here.
secretive.
It's always nice to be.
We
from
don't want people
around
to
here.
know where we're
Around
from.
Here.
Yeah, dude. Nice, and we're the caramels.
We are the Caramels.
Thanks for joining us out there. Please be patient.
We're still working on it.
Warming.
And on it, I mean ourselves.
Yep. While you're warming up to us, we are literally warming up
To each other.
To each other and the space that this is taking place. It's been verified. We're in Göttingen.
We're
at
in Göttingen.
StadtRadio location.
I insist on calling it StadtRadio.
StadtRadio.
It is a bunch of studs hanging out, working with the city's finest.
Radio people.
Yeah, community, working towards spreading the word.
Yeah, that's what we
What's
do.
the word?
The word is whatever you
The
can come up
word
with
is
on the
the-
day.
Okay.
And just talk in the mic.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be a moderator for the next 2 minutes. I feel like we should get the introductions out.
Yeah, sure.
We
You want us to talk about more about the place? Well,
yes, the place, why we're here.
we got, if I'm going to get all...
You mean
Our-
literally like this?
I
this
don't
way?
need you to describe the room. There's not a lot to
That's
describe.
not that very exciting. Yeah.
I thought you wanted to describe the room.
I meant like
That's
who we
why I
are.
interrupted. I was
I meant
Keep interrupting.
I meant who we are in this
Steer
city.
it somewhere else.
okay.
I feel
So,
like we're
well-
three individuals climbing over the back seat of a van to try and get to the wheel.
Right, so you'll hear a lot of that in this show. If you don't understand what he said, we're all students.
And if you understood what I said, now you're understanding how dumb Rafid thinks you are.
Yes. That's true, though. I had an encounter with someone, him and I, and he thought I was looking down upon him.
Yeah.
And also,
yeah,
Brian's...
one of my roommates.
Also,
from the other
Lucas, the
evening.
stranger we met on the road, right?
Oh yeah, that was funny. as
Yes.
well.
So I was thinking...
What did he do?
So yeah,
I was just myself.
we were walking home, and
I don't see nothing odd about that.
Yeah. No, we were walking home from just like went and got a beer, and then we were at the intersection from where the roads, like he would take his road home, and then I'd take my road home, and then some German guy started walking up, and I thought he was just gonna ask for a light, but he ended up asking us for directions.
And he started talking to us in English.
Yeah,
Which
immediately
doesn't happen all the time.
with a little bit of a German accent, so
Yes.
it was like
Okay.
seemed like he was trying
Okay.
a bit to conversate. He was also a little intoxicated, so we were kind of on our pedestal, like, all right, yeah, we don't know where we are.
We were
Like,
just like playing with the guy.
so started to make a few jokes,
Yeah.
but only that we would understand, you know, like
Real mature guys.
real dick and yeah, real.
No, we weren't like insulting. We were helping him out. He was looking for a bar.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which I ended up knowing where it was.
Yes. And the guy was so funny. So funny in that he has no filter. He'll just speak his mind, but not everyone, when they speak their mind, they're funny. This dude was so funny. And I said to Brian, is this a German Bill Burr, who's a comedian I really admire from the US?
Mm-hmm.
And the moment I said that, because I also made a few other comparisons afterwards, I think he kind of started to like dislike me. Like, you're comparing me to people and you don't even know me. But him...
No, but you were comparing him to a person you assumed he didn't know. And
Yes.
constantly, and he ended up having an opinion on everything that Rafid started to mention. So he mentions Bill Burr, and Rafid. So then I saw maybe that he didn't know. So I said, "Do you know who Bill Burr is?" And he goes, "Oh, you don't think I know who Bill Burr is?" Like the most German sarcasm possible. Yes. So we're like, "Oh, all right." So then we made a comment about Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I also compared him to another dude. On
Almost assuming he wouldn't know the cast members from Saturday Night Live, but he also did know.
No, but each time I said this, I only said this to Brian, as if I'm having a private conversation out loud with Brian, with this guy next to me.
Yeah.
Right.
But all I was saying was complimenting the guy, because I don't say this about everyone.
Okay.
This dude was like really memorable. And so
Right.
I just thought,
No
like, if I get this out there, and if he, for some reason, recognizes the references I'm making, maybe he'll know how I see him.
I mean, how do most Germans treat you when they approach you on the street? Like,
well, usually they just walk past me, so...
All right.
Yeah, that was, I don't know why you brought
I can
that
clearly
up.
see why.
I think it's an interesting fact because I think we both would have assumed this person is trying to talk to us a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
That conversation was, I think, for 40 minutes.
yeah.
40 minutes is not asking the way to a bar.
Exactly.
We were
So
just standing and talking.
my interactions have been the moment I drop, I'm from the US. Ooh, where are you from in the US? And it's like they almost want to tell you everything they know about it, every person they've known who's been there, every interaction they've ever had with that. But this guy, this guy didn't give a shit.
I was a dick about this because I thought just follow protocol. You ask who we are, we say who we are, and then we see where we are from. And this happens to me so many times, especially when I'm with him,
together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that I just thought, you know what, not gonna take it anymore.
It really is tough if you lead with the U.S.
Because what happens? Where are you
for
from?
Germans, and you
Yeah,
follow
yeah,
up
The
with
U.S.
Bangladesh.
We're in the U.S. and he says where he's from. I mean, I would assume now you turn to me and then you ask where you're from. Like, oh, we're from the place. And I say,
definitely.
but that never happens. Because then it's just like for 7 minutes, it's just a conversation about what they think they know about the U.S. and how they know it better than the American standing in front of them. And I'm just like a soundboard to like drop in fillers and like laugh in between or like make some side comments just to accommodate the guy. And so I thought, no, never. I'm not going to take this.
Did you play it differently?
No, I just said it. Like, you should have asked, like, are you not going to ask me where I'm from and all that?
Uh-huh.
And then
You
when
did ask him.
And then when he said, and I just said, oh, it's next to India or something. He said, I know that. And then we were just both dicks to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was.
That's not how it happened.
So that's how I remember it.
He went, where are you from? You said Bangladesh. It's over there. And what normally happens is people just assume that's India. And then they ask
And
you.
he had such a sarcastic tone. I didn't know that he knows where I'm from.
Exactly.
And I still don't know that he knows where I'm from.
He does.
Okay.
He did. And he
Wow.
knew about Bangladesh. And then he started to talk
Well, you're
about
saying that because everything he said was fucking A was his reply to everything. So we're just assuming he knows where I'm from.
So you're assuming all of the sarcasm was.
I thought like the sarcasm carried on.
Oh, I thought the sarcasm was showing that he did know, and he was kind of upset that we assumed he didn't know. But you're assuming some of the sarcasm was covering for how he didn't know?
Yes.
Well, there goes that story.
Nobody can confirm this now.
No, we can't confirm this. And we lost Lucas into the night. He just walked away after that.
40 minutes, though. So
It was 40
it really
minutes.
wasn't
It was
lost. I think we were ready to see him off.
Okay.
After that point, a couple homeless people came up to us, and it started to literally there was a lull in the raining, so we were actually underneath a little roof.
We were outside. Anyway,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
overhang. We were under an overhang, and then the moment Lucas left, it started to pour.
yeah.
I had, I don't know, 100 meters to walk. Rafid had 2 kilometers.
One-ish.
So
Right.
he left, and I left, and I thought, wow, that was a long conversation with Lucas. But even with the the not asking me where I'm from and all that, even all that aside, I was really glad I met this dude. He's probably one of the more memorable Germans I met.
Right.
But just objectively speaking, he's just funny. He's just very funny dude.
but you don't believe him.
I don't have to believe him because I also enjoyed the funny that he had.
It's like kind of conflicting for me. Like,
Yeah,
for
but-
someone to be funny but also like serious. He was funny in the way that he was trying to be serious with us. Like take me seriously, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I would say flippant.
And you still didn't believe him when he was trying to be serious.
Well, it's just two of us reading into the thing, so we don't know what was going on.
True. But I don't know. I think generally, you could say generally, there's a trying to be respectfulness to when you meet someone like us.
Yeah.
Someone who's not from Göttingen, because we're not all Germans, are we?
No, but also that night was different. I just wasn't in the best of mood.
I had a weird interaction twice, both from Germans. So 2 of my roommates invited friends who like don't hang out a ton.
Mm-hmm.
The first was one of my roommate's friends. She first came up to me and she arrived late, and then she came into the like side room when she was about to leave, and we were all going upstairs. No, we were going back to play our little game or
Mhm.
whatever, and she was like pulled out €3 and was like, "Hey, here's my contribution."
I was there, right?
I don't know. Yeah, it happened twice.
At
so-
the
at
I
the
was
end,
there
that was a
when it
different
happened.
one.
Oh, okay.
That was the second time it
Wow,
happened.
2 people doing the same thing.
Yeah, so the first time she was like, "Here's my contribution for the meal. Thank you so much." And I was like, taken aback. I was like, no, that's okay. Don't worry about it. She's like, "No, seriously, here's my contribution." And I know it's like a language barrier. And she was the girl who was like, English was not, maybe like not as good as the level we were all speaking on. But I was like, "No, it's fine." But she kept trying to give me the money. I was like, "No, I'm the host. I did the food. I didn't, like, you're not, I'm supposed to be courteous." Like,
Wait, this is the same evening?
this was the same evening.
Ah,
Yeah. This was
okay.
before you left.
Okay.
Like, right before you left. And I was like, kind of
That's funny.
offended. I don't want to say. I was just like,
yeah.
I'm being nice. I didn't do
I
this
guess
for
students.
food.
I guess students don't expect
True.
other students to have
Yeah.
so much money to throw a party for 10 plus people, and say
Yeah.
it's all okay. Because I mean, as a student, budget is a thing. So I guess when someone hosts a party, students assume everyone is just gonna contribute a few euros, and then it's all good. So you were just giving like a proper
Yes.
party, Christmas dinner.
This was for it wasn't for them.
Yeah, exactly.
These 2 people, I think because then it happened again right at the very end when everyone was leaving. She like put a different girl literally put it in my hand, and I was like, "No!" And I just dropped it on the floor. I was like, "I don't want your money," because then that also sets a precedent. Like,
Yeah.
now I'm taking money from everyone I don't consider my close friend,
Yeah.
or then the people leaving would say, "Oh, they asked them for money. Am I supposed to pay money?"
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Then the rule.
It's either all or
I wish
nothing.
it was
The rule is
like that,
supposed
just
to-
to
yeah.
enjoy the awkwardness between people.
You mean the rules
I don't know.
should be the same for
Could this be
everyone?
like a
Exactly.
culture
It's either
thing?
all or nothing.
Did you ask more people to contribute to bring a dish or something?
I asked everyone to bring something. So
Okay.
that was, in my head, the
Yeah.
contribution.
Yeah, but it was not like
Yeah.
a forced thing.
No, it wasn't a
It
forced thing.
wasn't.
It didn't feel like it.
But technically, it was just my close friends. It was
Yes.
just
Yeah.
you guys and then my roommates. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But then I count that as like, helping a friend host a party. You just bring something along, so it's...
I wouldn't consider these two people my friends.
I understand.
If they're listening to us, we consider them to be friends
At the moment.
in our hearts right now.
Best buds.
Best
Dude.
buds. So could this be a culture thing that here people do this, or was
like
this
Bibi
like a
said, maybe
politeness
it's
thing?
cultural,
It's a-
student culture.
Yeah, student
Oh, okay,
culture.
okay.
Student
Alright.
culture. I don't think it would happen if
It's like
you
fun.
have everyone has a job and then one person hosts a party, and then it would be weird, I guess, because what, you know.
Because you
Because
can't brag. You
it's-
can't like,
yeah.
it's cool. I got tons of money.
So you shared the awkwardness.
Yeah, it's super
With no
awkward.
What happens to the person who introduced the friend? Like your roommate who brought the friend.
Exactly.
So there's no responsibility on their
It's
part,
all their responsibility, I feel like.
right?
Yeah, it is actually.
So
Yeah.
are you saying like they're supposed to be the one paying for their friend?
No, they're the
Supposed
ones.
to be the one to calm the friend down. I
Yeah, be
guess.
like, hey, bro, put that money back in your
It's
pocket.
also my house.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And they're the ones who brought this
I
person
think
into
I think it's just lost in translation.
It's just a funny thing.
True.
Student culture.
Funny, confusing thing.
It is funny.
Yeah.
Because the same thing happened with one of our friends from class
Mm-hmm.
saw me at the grocery store. And I had a full cart. Like, I had a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was very revealing. It was almost like how much, like if you go with one of those small knit bags,
Yeah.
which can only fit like
Eggs.
some eggs and some potatoes. And she saw me with the full cart and asked, first of all, it was awkward.
A full trolley.
Why would you be having a party and I'm not invited?
Yes.
Second, I was worried about
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
Secondly, it was worrisome because she said, "Well, no, I'll just hang out with you. Like I'll walk around with you. Like let's catch up while you shop." Which for me is like she's gonna see the total. She's gonna see how much money I'm gonna spend on all this food for a party that she's not invited to.
Yeah.
Because you're saying the assumption is if I wasn't pre-invited, but now that I'm here in this place with you,
Yes.
at the end you would say, you should also
Hey,
come
you should
by.
come. Yeah.
What
so
did you say? You're giving a party. So
I said I'm having a house like a vege party with my
okay.
flatmates, a dinner.
Right, that means
Flatmates was the key word.
I said flatmates. I
Yes.
left you guys out of it completely.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah.
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of an awkward situation, I guess.
I mean, when I was trying to tell her, like, I go really slow, just to let you know. But then she called it out and was like, if you don't want me to walk with you, it's fine. And I
Yeah.
was like, ah, shit.
Oh, you think she understood?
She understood, but also was like, it's not a big deal, I think. But
Yeah.
you're right. Maybe we're reading into it again too much.
I guess.
But I love reading into it.
I mean, if we're reading into it too much, all we're saying is you, strange person, are a cool person for being cool about it.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
And then I walked to the cart back. I only live two blocks away from the grocery store, so I walked the shopping cart back
Yeah,
to
I
my
was wondering
apartment.
how did you get
Well,
those?
this is the worst part was because I had 2 bags and it would have fit everything, I think, or almost.
Yeah.
And then she ended up buying stuff alongside me. Like she was also doing her grocery shopping,
Uh-huh.
and she ended up buying too much, which she blamed on me because we had this huge swamp of groceries in the cart.
So she didn't see.
So she wasn't realizing how much she was buying. She was
Oh.
like, "Oh yeah, I'll get this too," and then she didn't have enough space in her one bag, so I said, "I'll lend you my bag."
Right.
So then
Okay.
I had to take the shopping cart home.
So like an
and-
optical illusion.
Yeah.
At the grocery shop.
Yeah. But
See what I did there?
yeah, that was nice. 180. I mean, not nice. Come on, man.
It's not nice,
Piece
no.
of garbage.
I am.
I was saying, talking about age, Noam Chomsky turned 90.
Yep, Noam Chomsky Day.
Noam Chomsky
Apparently.
Day.
Turned
yesterday.
90.
That is insanely old.
He's been
Yeah.
around.
He's been around
Yeah, you better
long
pack your
time.
bags and get your autographs. He won't be here for too long.
I swear, man.
Yeah.
Need to fly out to America right now. So yeah, I think that's impressive because of the age, but also Noam Chomsky. Come on, man.
You like Noam Chomsky?
I love Noam Chomsky.
What about him?
Everything.
All right.
That was not. That was
That
not.
was it?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, Oh, guys. Okay. So like so we haven't even mentioned what we study. So
Oh yeah.
we study English philology, so
Yes, we do.
literature, linguistics, stuff like that.
Cultural studies.
Cultural studies and
Master student.
master students.
So we know
We
a
study
few
math.
things.
We know a few things.
Yes, that's true.
No, that just means we forgot what we learned.
Yeah.
That's
Well.
why we're here again. That's all masters is, because you forgot what you learned.
Yeah, so we're relearning.
Relearning.
And so as linguistic students, obviously you come across Noam Chomsky. But then when I started learning more about him, it turns out not only is he very knowledgeable in linguistics, I think his work as an activist is also very
So
interesting.
you learned about him first
as a linguist.
As a linguist.
Yes.
That's crazy.
No,
Yes.
but that's how
That's-
I came across his name as well.
That's not typical in the U.S.
I can imagine.
He's an activist first, and
Yeah.
then you find out what.
Yeah, so I found out the other way. So that's why I found it so odd, like
Yeah.
the first time I heard him in I think it was like on YouTube somewhere, a lecture. I thought, no, well, let me just look up stuff, because his works for linguistics are so fundamental. You
Yeah.
have to know them. So I was just, as you do, and then I found like a lecture where he was just, talking on topics which were nowhere close to linguistics.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed. I was like, because he's very well spoken in those things, and it's very rare
He's
you
got
find
a great
someone.
intonation or whatever.
Yes, it's very
got-
rare to find someone who is so interesting to listen to, not only because what he has to say, but also in the way he says it.
Yeah.
He's I don't know, I just found that very intriguing. Also, he's written so many books.
Yeah, he
Not related
I
to
think-
linguistics, I only mean.
Yeah, no. In the
you know.
90s, he came out with media.
Yeah.
And he literally focused on the portrayal of media,
Mm-hmm.
advertisements.
Exactly.
He was like on that hype train for
Yeah.
a while. There was documentaries that he was part of.
Yeah, he's.
The influence of.
I think the one I'm reading right now is called How the World Works. I've had it for a long time. My colleagues gave it to me back home, but it's been just lying around in my cupboard. But I've started reading it, and it's just so interesting. The way he explains, I don't know, so many topics: democracy, America, power structures in the world, how certain things we don't see. And it's just, there's so many topics. I just find it hard to explain, what he's actually about. So, I don't know. I was quite, happy to see he's turned 90.
Yeah.
It's quite an age.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that don't like him though,
I can imagine.
because not just like the system who doesn't
Mhm.
like this person who's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to just be an academic, but because also in he's not an expert on the things he's talking about with the with governments, with
Mhm.
the economy, with media. His background as an MIT professor was linguistics, and then had a different life. So most people who work within those topics view him as
But
kind of a
that's-
pseudo.
But that's the thing. I think one thing Noam Chomsky taught people is you don't need to be an expert to talk about things which are important to you, such
True.
as your society, the democracy around you, the system, the government. You don't need to be an academic to say what you think, how things are working. Obviously, you need to fact check yourself.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's so involved, you can just be an activist. You can stand for something, and I think that's one of the inspirational things about how he lived his life. Like, I get that point. Like, he's not a professional. He's not a scholar in those topics, but in a certain way he is, because he's always been involved and up to date with how things are going, and
Yeah.
he's talked to the right
Active,
people.
I
And
guess you would say.
active.
Yeah.
That's what activism is about. You're active in that topic you care about. So I think that's how I also felt, learning more about him. Like, it's not when you know about these topics, you certainly take the stage or something, but just have an opinion, care about how things work around you. Don't think that's far beyond me. I'm not a professional, I'm not a scholar, so I shouldn't say anything about this.
So true.
You can be wrong a million times,
Yeah.
but still you need to care about something, and at least try. And I guess
Yeah, he's been trying since I think the Vietnam War.
Exactly. So
which
I guess that's the
also
lesson.
adds to its age.
Yeah, that's the lesson, I guess, that I would certainly take from his life. Like you don't need to be a scholar in those things.
Yeah, exemplary.
Yes.
Yeah, he's had there's the like on YouTube. Oh my gosh, there's debates from Foucault. Him and Foucault had debates.
Oh God, that's
he's had
some
conversations on firing line in the U.S. with Buckley. He's been around.
He's been around. I guess that gives him the credit as well.
I think he's definitely kind of hit a wall, I think, for some of his topics. They seemed a bit dated in the conversation, but I think you're right. Like, he...
Eventually, if you turn 90, how many
exactly.
topics
how
do
can
you cover?
You can't really, like...
I can't imagine there's... I mean, at this point, I guess when Noam Chomsky reads the news, he's just like, obviously. You know, like, he's just like...
No, so he took a lot of flack. I think... So it's Jordan Peterson is going to come up a lot. But for me and Rafid, I think, because we watch a lot of videos on him. And he's a similar... Yeah. Not the same as Chomsky, but he's Chomsky-esque.
Okay.
Chomsky-esque.
He's
a Russian.
He's in it for the cause.
Yeah, Peterson's in it for the cause.
An extension.
He's trained, I guess you would say, or his academic side is clinical or psychology.
Clinical psychology, yes.
So
he's a Canadian.
And now he's doing free speech activism, and he's going on these talks and giving talks about hierarchies and other biological sides.
So he's working on his material. He's giving out these lectures in like arenas, like people would line up just to see him. And this dude's super divisive right now for some of the socio-political things that's out there. And he speaks his mind. He says which side he chooses.
Right.
But then he backs it up. So you almost have to respect him because he's backing it up the way he does. Even if you disagree, it's just something you can hear about and learn from. Mm-hmm. So then you know, so this is why I don't believe in this thing, because he just gave you the reasons, or why you agree. He's
part of the coined term intellectual dark web.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that he's got going, he's entertaining.
Yeah.
A lot of the times these kind of conversations, they tend to bore people, but this dude's a super entertainer.
You go on YouTube and it's I was gonna say a different one, but Jordan Peterson destroys so and so.
Yes,
there's just YouTube videos on this where someone gives him, well, aren't you saying that this point is this, and then he just turns it around and makes them feel small.
So super hardcore fanboys.
Yeah.
But if that's the way he does it...
But no, the reason I brought
that's just the way the world's reacting. He's not like provoking you like...
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't decide to call that YouTube video like Jordan Peterson.
And he has some very civil conversations, I guess you would say too, or very...
He is always civil.
Yeah, he is. But the discussions are more not as confrontational in some aspects as well. But the reason I brought him up was because Chomsky's famous for accepting emails and responding them at his university email from any random people. So you send him an email and he'll respond. So someone sent him an email asking his opinion on Jordan Peterson, who's the current version of someone doing intertextual studies. What's it called? Interdisciplinary activism.
Okay.
And so Chomsky wrote back, and then this email was leaked because Chomsky wrote back and said he's not worth time. He didn't say he's an idiot, but he said people like Jordan Peterson are not worth their attention. And
right,
so,
he didn't back it up.
He didn't back it up at all. Yeah, that's just what the
because he doesn't have to. He's Chomsky.
Yeah, but it was he's literally talking about himself.
No, but it's just that anything you say about the guy, it's going to make Jordan even more popular because he is going up right now. But everyone's got an opinion.
Chomsky went a little mainstream on himself. He literally said
his own colleagues did. They wrote pieces on the newspaper shitting on the guy.
Yeah,
so,
it's just Chomsky had his own moment where he got so much, and he still gets, a lot of flack from people. He gets negative comments, but he still is pushing through and focusing his efforts on his activism. And someone else who could have had a like I was watching a video about this, and one of the points they took away from it was, I think you can't just disregard someone like this, like who's in the public sphere. Like you have to like at least acknowledge them. You can
Was that not a way of acknowledging though?
I guess it is a way of acknowledgement.
Maybe it was like a game.
But to not even say like it's not worth having a conversation about, or it's like I think we should discuss.
Yeah, but now this is me reaching out. But you have these like celebrity feuds, like so and so hit someone outside that event or something. They don't have to do much, so they can just stoke the fire just a little bit, and the rest of us, we fill in for the substance. So I feel like this is like maybe they both know what they're doing. Yeah, someone's playing a good guy or a bad guy, and it's gonna evolve, and maybe.
Would you really think Chomsky would be into that kind of stuff?
I mean, this whole intellectual dark web, these guys who were in it, they didn't all start off as friends. I mean, him and another person, Sam Harris, I mean, they were at pretty adversarial positions in the beginning, and now it's come to a place of respect, even though they have like different opinions. Mm-hmm. So Noam's probably not going to be here for a while. I mean, so he probably won't be in the intellectual dark web. But for this narrative to continue, he'll need like another.
But I'm telling you, he was their caliber.
Yes.
Not their caliber.
Very much so.
If we're looking into the dark web discourse, at a time where these were on the fringe of what it was okay to be talking about in an academic sense, or theories, or he was on that outside for a while.
I have to admit I don't know enough about Jordan Peterson. I have to watch something to see what this is about. So
it's just fun. Like you won't feel like you're in a class.
Yeah, what's that? You want us to send you as many videos as
because that's all we do.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, sure.
I already have a list.
You have 48 hours free.
Okay, well, just send me something then, I guess.
Yes, we will.
It was.
So here's a good video. He has this one. It's called like which is the worst U.S. president or something like that. So
that's so clickbait.
Yeah, it's so clickbait. And Chomsky's standing up. He's like, so people are saying so and so is a war criminal president. He's like, well, let's look at all the presidents. So he literally goes like from, I think it's Bush at the time, or no, it was Obama. And he's like, okay, here's why Obama is a war criminal. Let me just give one example for every president. Obama created or masterminded the biggest assassination plot of the 21st century in killing Osama bin Laden with no judiciary program and no trial, just killed in cold blood. Second, he went through every president and said how they conducted some mass murder or some shit like that. He just goes back to Kennedy and he keeps going back and back, and he's like, I could go all day.
Sounds straight, Chomsky.
Exactly. But that's like no context on like these are.
That's also clickbait though.
Exactly, it's clickbait, but like
so selective.
If I'm coming from a political science background and I see someone make that statement, I would want to say, but Chomsky, that's not how it really happened, or like, but let's look at the entire political sphere. Oh, let's look at the president's powers that are given by the people. Isn't it the people's fault? So you mean
there's no conversation? It's just Chomsky talking one way?
It's just Chomsky talking about why the system's bad without why there isn't a different system at the moment, or where's the solutions? Like
I don't know.
Why the system is good.
I got a sense he did like I can't remember the solutions part. I think I don't know. No, I can't remember.
But you felt it was balanced?
I certainly did, but it's I totally get that if someone's making these claims, you're like, well, what do you want me to do then? Especially if you're taking down the whole how America works system. What do you propose then? If someone's listening, you end up sitting there frustrated looking at this documentary, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now?
So then you get all that information.
Yeah, and
then you go, and then someone brings up something, and then you just, like, throw that same information at them.
You're like...
Oh, yeah, you like this president, but did you know? And it's like this fact.
That's what everyone's doing anyway.
It's indisputable. Like, It's just
I
Then
don't
you
know.
have-
It's sometimes facts are just facts, I guess.
yeah.
I mean, if the thing you told us about Obama, like, right, that is probably
Yeah, that's
true.
it. So yeah, I think he said so much.
Yeah.
So if we just focus on that one,
Yeah.
he said that the murder and assassination of Osama bin Laden, which in the U.S. was the most patriotic thing
Right, so there's
ever
like an emotional
accomplished.
Yeah.
element.
There was this huge emotional element.
Yeah.
It was literally a statement. They literally like, we got him.
Yeah.
But like, really, they made a movie about it. Zero Dark 30.
I like that
Zero
movie.
Dark 30,
It won the Oscar.
I haven't. Oh man.
I think it won an Oscar
The director,
for...
best director, wasn't it?
No, she won for Hurt Locker. She didn't win again.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Oscar winning.
I think for the screenplay maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, so.
So based on the murder of Osama, not only him, but I mean,
But-
you could give context. So you say, well, yeah, it was dark. We didn't know if these people had weapons on them. We had American lives at risk. So they did what they had to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And now that he's dead, terrorist organizations have crippled the Al Qaeda and other. Because I believe it took place in
2011.
northwestern Pakistan. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so.
Yep.
So that's the facts. All right. And
Yeah.
then Chomsky looks at this and is like, they crossed borders to murder a person with no trial. They killed innocent men and women within the compound, which they illegally entered.
So that.
American soldiers were injured in the compound when
Yeah.
they landed the helicopter in some bogus.
Apparently that was like
Yeah.
a distraction. That will just like blast the first helicopter that we have, take the other one and get out.
Yeah.
So the people can just take pictures of this one thing and we'll just... I mean, it was well thought out. I mean, you have to appreciate just how well thought out it was.
As if we were all
It was
military
like
generals,
finessed.
if we're all military generals, it would be like you'd have like action figures, and then you'd have the plan like
Okay.
and then the first helicopter.
And then someone will do an accent for the person on the ground.
Yeah,
and then
it
he
would be
sees me
bad.
like, what is happening? And then shoot him.
And then someone shouts, "Allahu Akbar," and then the scene is complete. And
Yeah.
Yes, we
Obama
mentioned
is-
everything. The first
And then-
episode.
Wait, Team America Part 2? Yeah.
And then Obama is the winner.
Yeah, and then it's like we did it, and then
Well,
celebration.
is it? So the point is okay? Is Chomsky wrong in saying that this?
No,
they
he's
crossed,
just asking.
They crossed like
What warranted such actions?
yeah.
But then they could say, oh, well, we had like the past 10 years as evidence. So it was just building up to this one thing.
So just like some.
So if his statement is Obama was a war criminal, technically, or he committed a mass assassination, like a U.S. government funded, which was led by Obama. I don't believe it got I don't know about that, but I don't know if it got consent from Congress beforehand. But it was the executive office coordinated this attack.
So like just like very underground.
Like they
just-
found out where he was. They didn't tell anybody else. They brought their troops, conducted it, and now everyone else has to just let it happen. Let this assassination happen.
Because I suppose then the question is, especially if you're crossing borders to finish something, you know, what someone else started as America. If this happened in Pakistan, then the question.
No, but if you're Pakistan, can you really be mad? Hey, why did you kill the bad guy in my...
No, I
my
think the
place?
question is, well, should have given us a heads up, like, no?
What?
That's like, okay, so,
She's talking about Pakistan.
like,
what-
what would Pakistan do, you know?
Exactly. So
But
but that's where the conversation
That's-
steers, right? It's not
So it's a
about
global
it's
thing.
not about Obama. It's not about the
Oh,
president
yeah.
and if he's a terrible thing. It's that this
The professionals.
institution or the U.S. let this happen, and then talks about it as a good thing,
Yeah.
so that they're capable of doing this, and then other places are incapable of doing anything about it.
Right, so this transgression is...
That's
like,
what Chomsky
against
should
other-
have in this talk. He didn't have the time, obviously, but this is where
Yeah.
these discussions should
The
happen.
question then is like editing is a process, so you don't know if
True.
if
I don't
he
know.
would have
Yeah.
supported all those claims by showing it from different angles, and
So
then
true.
in the end, in the last cut, it gets cut out because it's more impressive if you just get a president by president comparison of how they are war criminals.
So true.
It's more powerful, I guess, instead of
I guess like
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just it's just a
that's
theory.
almost where you have to sit through the 2 or 3 hour
Yeah.
video in order to see what they all said.
But I guess in some way it gives you, if you're an activist and you're that interested in what he has to say, I guess it gives you more of a push to go find out how you would answer these questions you have now, which Chomsky didn't answer for you. Like he throws something out, he didn't explain how what the opposite of it should be. Then if you're listening at it from an admirer or someone who really appreciates his opinion on things,
Yeah.
isn't it kind of your, you can't be just
It's
a
your
passive...
responsibility.
It's your responsibility. You can't be a passive listener
No,
of
but
anyone who you think is inspirational.
But most people see it as a reinforcement for their already
That's
their ideologies already.
That's a different issue. That's a problem. But if you believe you're an activist in a way, you probably don't. I mean, I don't mean like you take world stage on giving your opinions, but just if you admire someone or you're inspired by someone and someone making these claims, then it's your responsibility to really check things out and just find an alternative for yourself. I don't. If you're a passive listener, I don't think that's exactly how admiring people works.
True.
Being a passive listener is just no.
I think I don't know.
Isn't
about
admiration always passive?
Well, it depends. If you're inspired by someone, then in a way you would probably most likely do something in your own life which shows that like you're inspired by someone to do something. I don't know. I watched I watched this video. I don't know how I came across it on YouTube, and it said the first time Michael Jackson did the moonwalk.
Oh, it's a great one. He did it at the Motown Classic.
It was like
1960.
Motown 25th anniversary.
85.
Yeah.
But it was a
1985.
25th anniversary.
Yes. Nice.
Exactly, and it was like
Crazy performance.
It was amazing because it also said like the Jackson 5 had their performance and then he requested that he wanted to do a solo.
Yeah.
It was
like,
not.
I'm moving on.
I think he said for those of us who like living on the wild side or something like
Really?
that. Something like that. Like he likes those songs. He acknowledged, like he took the mic and he said, I like those songs, but I also like this new song. And just people just went crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the reaction was crazy. I was like really feeling it.
Like
It was
Beatles reaction.
I don't know, what did he sing again? It was
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean, yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah, that whole middle. I think it's like 2/3 in. After the
Yeah,
second verse.
it took a long time to like. I was like, where's the moonwalk then?
He does it twice.
Yeah, you're right. But
the last
And
one,
he
I
does
like
the
the
moonwalk
last
twice.
one.
But he does this one. He does the moonwalk, then the spin.
Yeah, the spin.
toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toes top.
Which he gets better at.
I did practice
after
this
on.
dance.
And
I have practiced this dance.
Could you do the moonwalk?
I can't do the moonwalk.
I can
I've
do
tried
the
to
moonwalk.
learn. You
Yeah,
can?
I could
Yes.
as well. You need like special shoes, like
you need the right shoes and the
And the
right
floor,
floor.
yeah.
I can do
the
this
moonwalk.
moonwalk with socks.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it hurts. Okay.
But
What
I
socks
guess
are you wearing?
what kind of socks do they
Yeah,
have
what
in
kind of
Dhaka?
let's screw this talk. What socks are you wearing?
Let's just address.
Are
It's
these
not too.
lava?
It's not too cold over there, so
Yeah.
they're called barely socks. Just anything touching your
So
feet.
this is your
a
first like
sock.
thick sock experience.
We just don't buy it.
See, when you go to the store, you're
There's
like,
no socks.
can I get a couple thick socks?
So yeah, so if you say that would be a memorable thing from that guy. Guess who came to the shop?
Came in.
He asked for thick socks. Like, can you imagine?
I mean, people don't
And
even
I
wear
thought he was saying
shoes that much. It's
Yeah.
it's just sandals.
Yeah. I can imagine people just wearing the sandals there in the winter.
The dance is iconic. Don't even need to say that, I guess.
No.
Take
Wait.
that comment back.
Wait, what?
Michael
I practiced that routine. I
Yeah.
used to know it because he does a couple more like
He does.
Shimmies.
Yeah, he does a lot during
they're
that
just-
performance.
You can break.
And he
you can bust
uses-
out at a
But
party.
you could at least learn his Beat It music, like this one with the hands.
You mean Thriller?
No, that's Beat It. Where he like walks down
Yeah.
the
Oh
stairs.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
How
the
do you
two
call
guys,
that dance?
and the
Like-
two guys are doing the show, like at the standoff with the knife, and he like pulls them apart,
Yeah.
and they all do this
Yeah. Yeah.
when they
you're
walk closer
right.
to the
That
camera.
is a good dance.
Yeah, that you
That's-
can learn.
I did know that one actually too.
That is
yeah.
iconic. Also,
He does
I
his
suppose,
leg thing.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the performance we were talking about. That's also the first time he's using that white signature glove.
Ah yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time.
Damn, he did so many iconic things in that one
Dude.
damn performance. Like that's sick.
That's getting
I really
lost in
enjoyed it.
translation
That's-
a bit. It's
that's-
starting to go away.
Yeah.
Like I think in its prevalence, like you could show that to a lot of people nowadays, and I don't think they would know.
I don't want to believe that. I think it's.
I think
What?
it's moving.
What?
Like that video for us is like we all knew it. Like all three of us knew it right away. I think a few
people-
years younger than us.
No, maybe they can identify the music, but maybe they haven't seen the video that much.
That.
I can imagine. Yeah, it's like you listen to the songs themselves. Like you wouldn't
Yeah.
really look up.
So that
Live
video
performances.
wouldn't come up without the music.
Yeah.
No, especially with
Haven't
him
heard it
because
before.
MTV and Michael Jackson, they kind of helped each other
Yeah, quite a
come
bit.
into prominence.
Yeah.
MTV would be nothing if not for Thriller. They released, I think, Thriller on MTV, and that's how everyone came to know about it.
Nah, really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
That's a good question. I thought Nirvana was the MTV.
I thought Thriller was.
No,
for
you're
MTV.
right, because there
I
was
think
also.
it was Thriller. I vaguely remember.
When did
it was,
MTV start? The 80s?
It was yeah.
Late
So I
80s,
think they
right?
were on like parallel lines, these two. So.
So how was No Donor November for you guys?
Oh.
Can
Okay,
we-
now before we see, I get worked up, baby, when you bring this up.
Whoa, Rafid just sat up straight
I just
Oh
after,
sat up
my
straight.
after I
gosh,
have to
sat
drop.
up straight.
And
donor.
Brian's been sitting up straight the
The
whole time
donor.
because he knew this was gonna come up.
He was ready.
No, this
Born ready.
chair
No,
is
the
just
thing is,
uncomfortable.
Bibi,
What happened?
don't say donor like donor. Show some respect.
Dinner?
No, it's like
Show some respect.
show some respect for our donor. Donor is all we have.
Döner.
Donor.
It's
Donor.
an umlaut. Döner.
So I say dinner.
No. It's just that I could recognize a hint of I don't give a shit about donor in your voice. No, you can.
How
admit
was No Donor November?
it. Yeah, that was so offensive. So
Really? I was actually.
I didn't do
being-
that at all, but
I'm just giving you a lot of shit. You don't deserve it.
Nice.
Donor has been a big deal for us.
Yes.
Which is why we thought we can make it a bigger deal if we stay away from donor for a month.
Fair enough.
And that conversation didn't even last this long. It was like, hey, bro, no donor November. He was like, okay. And that's it. It was so hard to be without donor. But I think, and I even told him about this, that I kind of got used to it.
yeah.
So I could have carried on and not have donor ever again.
Okay.
So that's the only letdown for me, that change in me
Okay.
as far as how I see donor. But during the beginning of the month, it was a little difficult. But soon afterwards, I think like after a week or so, it was all right. I didn't miss it as much.
At the start of the month, I mean, we had been here 7 months, 8 months, and
Mhm.
in those 8 months, having come to Göttingen and adjusted to life here, donor had become part of that adjustment, and it was a necessity.
Why? What was so?
Because it's the only reason
I can't believe
why
the
we should get out
taste
of the
was
house.
everything.
Really,
No.
like
it's not about the taste. It's just like, oh, so I'm in Germany. I don't know that I'm in Germany. I have the donor. Oh, this is Germany. So it's like
Yeah.
that.
So dinner was equivalent to being in Germany for you guys,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean-
right now I could easily be back home. Nothing is registering in my mind right now.
right?
Even when I get out, it's just bland all the way through. Not saying you guys are bland sometimes, but donor for me,
We call the caramel.
donor for me was the
Don't
thing.
call me bland. I'm offended.
No, you're not bland. But donor is the way him and I got to be good friends. Donor is the way that we got to be good
yeah,
friends.
us three met.
Oh, no.
Damn.
Yes. And
Sorry.
that was
I
peak
didn't-
donor level. And the
I-
fact that you
We're not
chose
giving
not to
that
have donor
story
with
yet.
us, I was like, that is not cool.
I did not want to give so much credit to Donor in bringing you guys to my life.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
I think I have to admit, yeah.
I mean, coming to a new place is a lot of food based. Like
It is, yes.
food holds a lot
imagine.
of the.
Can't imagine.
I mean, I have met people, I can't believe they were like this, that didn't care about food. Like, they literally, I remember saying, like, what's your favorite food? And I met people who had said, I don't really have one.
We call those people not our friends.
Yeah.
So you mean like food as in what you cook at home, or just
as
what
an
in the
experience,
city?
as an
Like,
experience going
oh,
somewhere new, or like being somewhere, being out in this,
sad.
going out. You can't always go over to your friend's house. Big part of it's going out, and not just food, tea, like.
And also when we started out, we didn't have, like, right now we are working, but before we didn't work, we didn't have that
Yeah.
much money. We can't pay to go to places and for each meal pay
plate
15
of-
euros or something.
10 to 15
10 to 15 euros normally.
is
yeah.
normal, so it's
Yeah.
not like for most people that's
It's not
not.
crazy. It's
You're
normal.
not gonna go expecting to get a deal for €5 or €6.
So even now, 10 to 15 feels a lot.
Yeah.
So for us, that €2.50 donor or the $3.50,
Oh my gosh, €2, €2.50.
That's everything.
€3 donor box.
you are good for the next, I think, 5 hours. Ish.
A sandwich.
The lamakun.
Oh my
Some call
gosh.
it lamachun. We don't know.
It's lamachun.
I call it lamakun. But
Lachun.
Lamachun.
it's.
I
it's
suppose
okay.
in Turkish there's like it's a C with
Yeah,
like a tail.
yeah, there's an
so
emphasis
it's a
on it.
ch.
Yeah.
Chip.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a sound. That's a different sound.
I did not. know
I am not sure. Please fact check this as well. I think it's lamachun. Yeah.
No, even the guys
I
at the
should
stores,
know.
they call it lamachun as well.
Yeah, it's lamachun.
But I still say lamakun. I don't know. I don't want to be like them. The Turkish don't really like them. What? No. I love
The
donor.
only Turkish he knows are the ones that work in the Turkish donor shops.
They helped raise us. I would say that.
They're like mommy.
Yes,
But hairier
and
and
that's a
more
very
masculine.
fair thing
I
to
mean,
say. That's
it would be
it's not even
fair.
funny. It's very fair to say they did.
It's
raise
not
us.
funny.
Yeah, exactly.
They saved you. They got you off the streets.
The first German phrases came out of
Not from our class.
not from the classes.
Yeah.
Takeaway.
Sumit
So
First foods I learned. Henshin.
sharp.
Shaf. Yeah, exactly. So those then it becomes reinforced every time
Exactly.
you go.
Because in your class, your
It's like
teacher doesn't
home.
give you a
It's a
candy
habit.
for learning, but over here we learn and they give us a donor,
And you learn German.
and we
Yeah.
learn German.
And you interact with people there for a short, brief time.
So you check that off the list for daily things to do. So
But that's what it
No, but
become.
it is the in to
It
the daily
became
thing.
that check off in my mind. What haven't I done today?
Yeah, donor.
I didn't get a donor yet. I can go get a donor. It's only €3.
And we text each other like donor, okay, donor.
Donor.
And then that's when the hangout starts, and then for a couple hours you.
that's a
can hang
lot
out.
of missed recordings, guys, for listening.
That's also one of the ways that's how we became
Donor
to know
gave us
that.
these podcasts.
Yeah, we would always say that this topic right now is
for
donor
love.
work. Yeah.
Sponsored by Falafel House.
Yeah.
We are not affiliated. Yeah, we need a lawyer.
But seriously, check out Pinocchio.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, yeah, that's.
Oh.
If you want to get sponsored.
Yo, we should.
Just hype up
That'd be
donors
fun.
each episode.
Yeah.
This
Well,
this
we can
town
make
is
like
run
a-
by donor, right? That's where all the finance is.
What's
we know
that,
that
challenge people did while recording
Ice
themselves while
bucket? No.
eating?
Oh, it's not
Whoa.
a challenge.
You went way back. Ice bucket challenge was.
I never did the
Ages
ice
ago.
bucket challenge.
They
Did
don't
you
have
guys
ice in Bangladesh.
Also that. We never did it. So it was like, come quickly, it's melting. So we all had to do it fast.
Yeah.
That's
And
my
then-
impression of
and
ice
then-
bucket challenge.
And then what? Jump on a
Cold
block
bucket
of ice.
challenge.
Babu, quick! Don't move! Is the camera on? Turn it on.
No.
Hit video.
But what I've seen, like, I'm pretty sure you guys had that too. It's just like a massive block of ice, and they just scrape ice off it to put in drinks. No?
Are you saying we use that same ice for the ice bucket challenge?
Are you
Isn't
saying
that for
that's
everyone?
wait? Are you saying that's sacred ice?
Are you saying we...
I didn't know that was a thing.
What are we talking about?
Ice.
So
Ice.
can you ice? Can you give us a
Ice.
We can't afford the copyrights, Mr. Vanilla
The
Sky.
title of this
Or
is
like-
going to be Ice Dhaka.
Ice Dhaka.
Ice Dhaka.
No, it's more like rain mud Dhaka. Rain mud, the president.
Yeah. So where do you get your ice for drinks? Is there any ice?
No, there's this thing. I mean, it's more popular in the West, but we also have it. It's called a fridge. So we have the ice in the fridge. You
That's so
pieces of
boring.
shit.
I wanted a struggle story, man. Like, I walked 5 kilometers to get ice.
No, but that's
By
a
the
good.
time I'm
No,
back,
but
it's
that's a
melted.
good point because that means like all the videos were within the vicinity of your house.
The logistics.
You couldn't
Bucket
see
challenge.
couldn't see
Oh.
an ice bucket challenge. I'm sure in a park, because the parks are far away.
We should have more documentaries based around how ice bucket challenges were actually achieved.
Yeah.
So like behind the scenes at the ice bucket.
So
challenge.
in the West, we take ice for granted, especially if it's transportable.
I could say like this would be a good time to say goodbye to our audience, and then we can talk about all the ways we offended you, and because we need a solid 30 minutes just to talk about that.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thanks, bye. Tuning into the Caramels. It was
Please
a
give us
pleasure.
another chance.
Yes, we will come back again. This is not the only episode.
So the new title is Begging.
Yes. Dare us to stop.
Begging for viewership.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's easy. There's no competition, right? I'll just say it.
don't say
Boom.
that too loud.
All right, so just to clarify, I'm gonna hit the stop button.
Yes.
Let's
Wow,
hope it
you
actually
make it
stops.
very romantic.
I just want to really make sure it stops.
Hallo liebe Hörer, ihr habt gerade unsere erste Podcast-Folge zum Thema Partys und Shopping, akademische Aktivisten, Michael Jacksons Thriller und Donnerfrei November gehört. Bis zum nächsten Mal, eure Caramels.